Haima. All right, so our weekend session continues, right? It's day 6 already. So again, thank you all for joining in on time, 6 a.m. IST, and this is 7:30 Eastern here in the US. As usual, let's start with a beautiful song. Today, let's all welcome Maitri, who will be singing for us. Over to you, Maitri.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Happy morning.
Morning.
And my voice is clear, no?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Jagadjalapalam Kachakantamalam Sharaschandrapalam Mahadaityakalam Nabo Nilakayam Duravaaramayam Supadma Sahayam Bhajeham Sadambudivasam Galat Pushpahasam Jagat Sannivasam Gadachastralastram Gadachakrashastram Lasat Pitavastram Hasat Charuvakram Bhajeham Ramakantaharam Shrutirvastrasaram Jalantarviharam Chidanandarupam Manognyaswarupam Dhrutanikarupam Bhajeham Jagadjalapalam Kachakantamalam Saraschandrapalam Mahadaityakalam Nabo Nilakayam Duravaaramayam Supadma Sahayam Bhajeham Jarajanmahinam Paranantapinam Samadhananilam Sadaiva Jagatjanmahetum Surani-kasetum Trilokaikasetam Bhajeham Jagadjalapalam Kachakantamalam Saraschandrapalam Nabo Nilakayam Duravaaramayam Supadma Sahayam Bhajeham. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maitri.
Thank you.
Makes it so easy for us to get into meditation. Really appreciate it. Thank you. So, dear friends, yesterday we had a beautiful session from Pariniti ma'am, so where she talked about compassion and the heart culture, right? Using your mind in the shadow of your heart is what she said. I don't think it can be put any better than the way she put it. The heart to lead the direction and mind to kind of do the blueprint, right? So the how part of it with the mind, but heart to lead it. One of the key aspects which I felt, which was mentioned yesterday, was the gratitude. So gratitude for one another. So let's have the gratitude for PSSM, for Patriji, for this platform is allowing all of us to come in here and meditate together, right? So with this pure heart, let's intend to get into a meditative state, a state of inner silence. Let's start our meditation. Those wearing your glasses, kindly please remove. Sukhasana, first the posture. Take your time. I'm seeing people removing their glasses. No hurry. Take your time. Get into a comfortable posture. And again, thank you for all those people who have kept their videos on. Really, really helpful. Thank you. Clasp your hands once you have sat comfortably. Cross your legs. Or feet if you are sitting in a chair. Most importantly, close your eyes. You know the procedure now. The key is to get the body to be absolutely comfortable and relaxed. Allow that time to your body. Scan your body and see if there is any tension anywhere. Readjust your body if needed. Just be absolutely comfortable. This is your time. Let's absolutely make use of it. Let's drop all the expectations. There's nothing to achieve. There's no doing here. Slowly bring your attention to your normal, natural breath. Your in-breath, out-breath. Feel your breath. Just be with the breath. If thoughts come, simply come back to the breath. Do not energize those thoughts. Just be with the breath. Not over the top reference, just feel with normal, natural breath. Continue being with your breath, dear friends. Just normal, natural. Just be with your breath. Continue being with your breath, dear friends. Last 5 minutes. Slowly come back, dear friends. Please take your time. No hurry. Whenever you're ready, clasp your hands. Place the fingers on your eyes for 5 to 10 seconds. Open your eyes whenever you're ready. A big, big smile. Thank you so much, dear friends. Lots of gratitude. All right, so it's now day 6 of our 21-day program. Let's just take a couple of minutes to do a very quick recap. So day 1, we kind of introduced the meditation technique of Anapanasati, right? Essentially the why of it, the science part of it, and how. So we kind of went into the posture, what to do, right, to get into meditation. So day 2 is when we looked into the why breath aspect, right? Among various types of meditation, right? Mantra, visualization. Why are we choosing breath among many other types? So we kind of went into that, and we also looked into why or how breath is intimately connected to our mind. So we discussed about thinker versus observer, right? The practice of meditation, we shift from thinker to observer. We start observing our own thoughts. We see them as separate. So we also discussed about the states of mind. And then we kind of talked about the very common experiences in meditation. The most important thing which we discussed was not to analyze those experiences, right? Again, you cannot use your mind to experience those, to analyze those experiences. The thing which we talked about was to be neutral, treat the pleasant and the unpleasant with equanimity, neutrality, right? Thoughts comes and goes. We know that. Happiness, right? Even happiness also doesn't stay with us forever. All same with sadness. So they all come and go. So we talked about the impermanence of things. Then we talked about the body-mind connection. Talked about the competition, comparison. The most important thing which we talked about day 4 was wherever attention goes, right? The energy flows and the results show. So, which is a very, very profound and important statement, right? We have to own our attention. We have to kind of take responsibility for attention, right? Because that's where energy flows and that's where things manifest. So we also talked about how breath awareness meditation will make us an observer, take us more towards an observer. Yesterday was about compassion and vegetarianism. So we talked about the heart culture, how using your mind in the shadow of your heart is how Pariniti Ma'am put it, right? Beautifully put. Essentially the heart direction, heart to show the direction, and mind as the blueprint. So that's where we are. This is now day 6. And today's topic is a very, very important topic, which is youth into meditation. So just a quick recap. Last year, we did a few 21-day meditation programs. It was called Anapanasati Foundation Course. So this time, actually, Sagar sir mentioned or suggested that we create a new program very specifically for the youth, which is this program. So considering this is a youth program, it's a very, very important topic, and we have the best possible speaker for this topic. We have a guest speaker today. And let me please introduce Dr. Ugandar, who is a general surgeon and also a spiritual teacher. He's the visionary behind World Parliaments of Spirituality and also the secretary of the World United. And the mission of which is connecting people through personal and planetary evolution. So friends, it's my great pleasure to invite Dr. Ugandar. Welcome to the program, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Shibu and everyone here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So I just want to start with a few questions, and then we will later open the floor for everyone. So that's at a high level, just the structure will follow today. And just as a quick overview, sir, 50% of us are new meditators in this audience. And again, as we mentioned, this is a program which is purely targeted towards the youth, but youth definitions could be many, right? It doesn't have to be based on age group. So all are welcome here. So to start off with, sir, what made you come into meditation at a young age, right? I know you are you're a medical science student. So there is a part B to that question. What made you stick to meditation?
See, I am not introduced to meditation by anyone. I followed my own intuition and instincts from a very early childhood. And my only concern and obsession has been how much internalized I can be in any given moment. That has been my childhood obsession. It continued. For me, that has been my meditation. And I don't treat meditation as just as closed eyes and observing of the breath alone. It is the intent and the intention of the spirit to be internalized, constantly keeping ourselves connected to the deeper core of our consciousness. That intent is the precursor, the precipitator, and the most important element to be nurtured and cultivated. If that element is cultivated, meditation per se, that which we are calling as meditation, would be a constant companion, would be the constant state of consciousness for anyone. Spirituality is nothing but cultivating this temperament. Thank you.
Got it, sir. Beautifully explained. So it is not about a 30-minute session or something which you do, right? What you're saying, essentially, it's a state of being.
Yeah.
Got it. So,
for me, meditation is never a doing. Meditation should not be called as an act of doing. Meditation, the word meditation is the name given to the state of consciousness, meditative consciousness, which is different from the wakeful consciousness, which is different from any type of consciousness that we normally experience. It is a totally altered consciousness, and that can be made constant, that can be made as our natural, normal waking consciousness. That can be our normal waking consciousness can be permanently transformed. When the normal waking consciousness gets permanently transformed to meditative consciousness, he is called as a yogi. He is called as an awakened one.
So what can one do to be in that sort of consciousness?
Number one, as I told, cultivating this temperament of the intent of staying within always. So every given moment is a challenging moment for a yogi. It is not the adversities of life, the vagaries of life, which make one different. Every moment is adverse moment for a yogi. Every moment is a challenging moment because he is not bothered about in what type of action he is into. Be it brushing the teeth, be it talking to the Zoom sessions, be it listening to something, be it routine professional works, or anything. He's not bothered about that. He's bothered mostly about how well he is internalized in any given act or no act. So when he is bothered about that, naturally something changes. There's a cultivation of character, there's a cultivation of the temperament.
So let's kind of build on that same thing, right? Let's say if you're doing something which is super routine, like brushing your teeth, how do you stay in this state of internalized state, right? How do you stay there? I mean, how do you make sure, or rather, how do you get into the state when you're doing something which is super routine, just brushing the teeth, for example?
I spoke about the principle of cultivating the temperament. If I talk about procedures, I always suggest anyone, especially the beginners, to sit for at least 5 minutes every 2 hours. 5 minutes. Like 5 times a day, minimum. If we can do that way, we can cultivate this character. We can cultivate this temperament. And whenever we are centrifugalized, whenever we are peripheralized from our consciousness, whenever we are away from our nucleus, the core of consciousness, we need to get back. It's a habitual, slow cultivation that is very, very important. Finally, see, before understanding meditation, before understanding being a meditator, the beginner, the novice, the apprentice, or even the adept need to have some checkpoints. Like when you join a Zoom session, we need to have some checkpoints, right? The audio, video, everything.
Yes.
Every time the novice need to have the checkpoints, even the adept need to stick to the fundas. The fundas are a high level of commitment to one's self. Commitment for this type of temperament to be cultivated. One has to hone these qualities before entering the path of meditation. The path of meditation, as you all know, is an internal journey. The path of meditation is all about consciousness. So the commitment has to be supported by the regular, sincere, frequent sittings of meditation, 5 minutes each. And the most important element, another element to be nurtured, is the art of letting go. Meditation is basically an art more than a science for me. The art of staying still, the art of letting go, these components need to be nurtured. By way of thinking repeatedly about them, by way of practicing something called as inner ease. People are never gentle with themselves. People are always harsh towards oneself. This type of idea need to be changed forever. A type of gentleness has to be observed, especially towards oneself. When we are gentle, we don't fight back with ourselves. We accept.
So even the present moment, whatever be the situation,
Yes,
we accept it, right? So there's a general acceptance with that, is what you're saying. So to do that, it's not a one-time meditation, maybe let's say 30 minutes in the morning. It's more of a repeated check-ins through the day. So we stay internalized and stay connected through the day. Instead of maybe a one-time morning meditation of 30 minutes or 45 minutes, 5 minutes or 10 minutes check-in in between through the day is what you're suggesting for everyone.
yep.
Thank you, sir, for this. So one thing which I'm personally interested is, I know this Anapanasati is the meditation technique which we follow here, and it's all about the breath, right? So when it comes to breath, is there a proper breathing? Is there an erratic breathing? If there is, how do you fix it?
See, breath has to be understood thoroughly. Breath is one type of movement in the body which is both voluntary and involuntary, right?
Yep.
If you see the movement of circulation, blood circulation, it is absolutely involuntary. You can't just say the heart, just wait for a few minutes, stop for a few minutes. You can't say that, right?
No.
You can tell your kidneys to stop working for 2 minutes.
Yep.
When it comes to breath, you can hold the breath, right? You can hold
Yes.
the breath. You can
For a certain period of that, yes.
Yeah, for a certain period. We can take the breath fast, slow. There is an element of volition when it comes to breath. So nature has provided this wonderful movement of the body as both voluntary and involuntary. That is point number one. The point number two to be observed is, what is a natural breath? Have you seen a child breathing?
Yes.
Where does the movement happen? The movement happens not in the chest. It happens always in the abdomen.
Yeah.
When it comes to animal, any animal, birth happens, the movement happens only in the abdomen. All the children, all the yogis, all the animals breathe through abdomen. Not that lungs are there in the abdomen. Lungs are located in the chest. But we take erratic breathing because of our own internal conflict, internal agitation, internal chatter. The mind constantly works, right? The mind influences the breath. That's why we are called as adults. Adults means adulterated. Our breath has become adulterated. Our breath has become anomalous, erratic, stercorous, not natural. All the people who take chest breathing are the people who are frustrated, agitated, disturbed within. The yogi takes a composed, deep breathing. When you take a deep diaphragmatic breathing, the abdomen comes forward with every inhalation, with every exhalation goes within. That is a natural breath.
Yeah.
So, if you can just make your breath natural, 24/7, that is the meaning of mastery of breath. As per all the Himalayan masters, as per all enlightened masters of the world, that is a great challenge.
So that's also the letting go, right? So letting the body be.
Yeah.
Because I have seen that sometimes when I'm tensed, my tummy goes inside, and what you're saying, it's clearly I've observed it where it only goes till here because I'm holding on. Certain muscles are tensed tight. So I think it goes back to that same point which you mentioned about relaxing and letting go. Applies everywhere, I guess. Beautiful concept, sir. Sir, I was right before this, I was looking at your the website, the profile page, where it mentioned about transformational medicine. So just for the benefit of myself and for everybody, can you please explain that?
See, all the diseases, except for the congenital issues, are generally categorized as infective causes, traumatic causes, degenerative causes, malignant causes, maybe metabolic causes. For all acute and chronic ailments, all these things are reflections of one's mind. If a person who has constant temperament of anger, where does this element of anger go inside? It affects the body, one part of the body, one component of the body, one area of the body, which is vulnerable, which is susceptible. Transformational medicine means working on this element instead of working on the organ. Transformation means changing the frequency of one's own self. When we work on the frequency of one's own self, the so-called diseases or the physical maladies whatsoever will be diminished and disappear for a period of time. Like reverse engineering, right? Reverse engineering. Working on oneself.
So let's say I identify something. Let's say I try to be too harsh on myself. I don't let go. At the end of the day, I always feel like I probably should have done a little bit more, right? So that's also pushing myself, pushing too hard, right? So how do you, those kind of things, right? Maybe it translates as a disease back to the body is what you're saying. Anything, right? Any kind of all of these mental patterns. How do you identify and how do you reverse this reverse engineering process? How does that happen?
Yeah. The main challenge is, as told, identification.
Mm-hmm.
What medical people call as diagnosis. Like medical people diagnose the ailments, everyone should be able to diagnose, identify, discover what is right and what is not right. We are never bothered about what's not right. We are never serious, in fact. But nature makes one serious by way of giving this type of issues called as diseases. Identification of all the habits. What is a habit? A repetition of thought is called as a habit that we do regularly, consciously and unconsciously. Unfortunately, all the habits whatsoever are products of unconscious repetitive thinking, unconscious recurrent thinking, unconscious robotic thinking, unwanted thinking, uninvited thinking. These habits turns into mental patterns. Slowly, they transform into attitudes. The attitudes transform into belief systems. It is very difficult to find out one's belief system. It might be easy to identify one's thoughts. It might be relatively easy to identify one's habits. But one's attitudes and one's beliefs to identify takes a lot of time. Belief means, for example, a belief of victim consciousness. It is the worst of the beliefs. The victim consciousness, once enters into these habitual patterns, it turns into a disease. In English, we say we caught cold, right? Cold doesn't catch us. We go and catch cold. We go and catch cancer. We go and catch everything. Be it corona, whatever. We are going there and catch them because of this acquired component of victim consciousness, unfortunately. So self-identification of all these issues happen with preparing oneself for the path of meditation by way of commitment, by way of inner ease, by way of letting go. Everything, these 3 points are very, very important. When you go to a war, does anyone go without any weapons? Meditation is like a war. The weapons need to be sharpened, prepared. And here the weapons are one's attitudes, one's temperaments, one's qualities of mind. These need to be honed, cultivated, nurtured continuously, constantly, repeatedly, every day. For a period of time, the reverse engineering happens. All this robotic thinking turns to a conscious thinking. Everything becomes conscious. A phenomena happens, a blossoming happens.
So in a way, these patterns, if you're not able to identify those, as you're saying, it's coming onto the body. So if you look at it that way, it's more of a reminder as well for all of us, right? If you're not able to detect it early on, it hits our body. And even then it's a reminder in a way. So one more thing which I wanted to ask you is, these days there is an increased focus on medication, vaccines, those kind of stuff, right? So what's your general take on medication versus meditation, right? What should be the general approach? Should we be meditating, or what's your general take on this?
You're asking me meditation?
Yes. from a doctor's perspective, I wanted to know, I know you are this very unique combination of a surgeon and a spiritual yogi, right? You're a yogi and a doctor. So I just want to know, so, from your perspective, I'm sure a lot of people would have the same thing, right? Why should I be taking medicines?
The point here is,
yeah,
we need to understand what is medicine.
Mm-hmm.
The word medicine came from medicinia of Latin, which means that which heals. That which heals. We consider medicine as something we pop in as a tablet or a capsule orally, something we take intramuscularly, something we take intravenously, or something by way of cutting the body through surgeries. So these are the things which come into the mind visually when one talks of medicine. Medicine means that which goes through oral way or intramuscular way or intravenous way. Water, plain water is a medicine because it flushes the body. Most of the people do not take optimum level of water. Good sleep is a medicine. Proper rest. Gautam Buddha has placed a lot of importance to breath, not just breath. He gave topmost importance to rest. Do you know that? More than meditation. More than meditation. That's why he called all his meditation centers as viharas. Vihara means the place where you rejuvenate, relax.
Yeah.
He never called his centers as meditation centers. He called his centers as viharas, where you rest. Rest is very important.
The emphasis on the ease rather than anything else.
Yeah. Rest, not unrest. But people are caught in unrest, unfortunately.
Yep.
Rest is very important. Rest is a medicine.
Yep.
Water is a medicine. Meditation is also a medicine. Allowing ourselves to sink into deeper consciousness, making it a habit, works like medicine. Not only prophylactically, preventively, but therapeutically as well. Meditation is both the prevention and cure as well. We can reverse the diseases, acute and chronic, by way of following certain principles of lifestyle, principles of meditation. When we can do that, we can reduce a lot of medication. This is a fact. We can reduce. Maybe more than 90% we can reduce. But for certain things, for example, accident happens, fracture, blood coming out. We can't tell them, clasp your hands, close your eyes. You can't tell, right?
Of course not.
They need to move. It is an emergency. A person who is getting a heart attack, we can't tell them.
Yep. So everything has a purpose, but it's up to us to consciously choose and adapt to it. Absolutely, sir. I mean, I think the final question from my side before I pass it on to the audience would be, what's your message for the youth? Like for someone who's listening to right now, right? It's a 15, 18, 20-year-old who is probably in the college or, starting their career. What's the message?
For youth, I want all young people to watch their level of consciousness always. Always means literally always, every moment. And do all activities, absolutely all activities, that which think as trivial, small, insignificant, like brushing the teeth, taking the bath, we consider it as routine and trivial. There are no trivial things in the world of a warrior, the world of yogi. Please take up all activities whatsoever, from the centered consciousness, from internalized consciousness, from a converged consciousness, from a state of antarmukha. Make it a habit. Once you become older in physical age, it will be difficult. It takes a lot of time to get into this habit because you are fresh, young, not really polluted. Most of our minds are polluted minds. Most. That's why they are called adults. Right? Don't be adult. Never be adult.
So be childlike throughout, irrespective of your age. That's a key
Always
message.
enthusiastic. Always enthusiastic. Always moving with passion. Move with passion, enthusiasm.
Yep.
Wonderment. Living in the world of wonderment. Always wonder. That's the beauty of life. What else is the most beautiful aspect in human's life?
Curiosity and just a zest for life itself. Amazing message, sir. Amazing message. So with this, I want to invite Naman, who is the president of the PIMA Global. And this is one thing, sir, before I transfer it over to him, this is one program where we are kind of a joint activity between Pyramid Valley International and PIMA. So what we typically do here is we start off with meditation. We actually start off with a song from one of the PIMA members, followed by the meditation, followed by one of the PIMA members would come in and share their experiences. This is where we heard about stories where folks have gone off medication for 15, 16 years. I've been meditating from the childhood and literally gone off medication. It's been an amazing program. And so transfer it over to Naman, who leads PIMA Global. Over to you, Naman.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Ugandar. I've been listening very thoroughly, and some of the points that you shared was like, it's such a common sense to see it in front of you, but you'd never realize it. But if somebody tells you, like, you have to be aware of, even a small thing, and it's like, yeah, it makes sense, man. And when I track it back and I see that, all my life, how all the small things that led to bigger changes and the impact of it, I think it's a must thing to do. So thank you so much for the advice. PIMA as a group, sir, is an association of pyramid masters for meditation and ahimsa. And we are youngsters spread across demographics, where we go to schools and colleges, we go to parks, we go to anywhere we can go, we can find people, and we teach them meditation. So with this, I will open the stage for everyone. So guys, if you have any questions, please ask along. Okay, before the first question comes, I have a question, sir. Recently, I was reading about a technology called CRISPR, where you use meditation for gene manipulation. It's a process for gene manipulation. So, and how do you, when you're meditating and you read about something like CRISPR, where you scientifically now people are saying that gene manipulation is possible. So, what is your take on it, sir?
See, genes are the blueprints of one's pattern. Everyone should be called as a pattern. Every human being, every animal, every plant. When I say pattern, it means an inbuilt software, a biological software. Not only biological, a psycho-spiritual software as well. It is a blueprint which reflects what we are within. The genes carry everything of what we are, the past, present, and future. And the reflections, the expressions of whatsoever is emerging from this inherent blueprint. And like software is changeable, upgradable, updatable, the genes, the inherent programming of these genes also can be changed. Like everything has a way. I don't like the word manipulation. Transformation. Manipulation is something, no? You got it right.
Yeah.
Change. Transformation is required.
Yes.
What we are as a frequency, as a vibration, changes what we are at a microcosmal level called as genes or chromosomes.
Yeah.
If
Collective
you change the
energy.
frequency, the programming inside genes will also reflect proportionately, vice versa.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much, sir. So as expected, questions are pouring in. So I'll just get on to the first question. So the first question is from Shiv Shankarji. Awesome thought, doctor. Do you integrate your treatment with your medication?
Yeah, for all the wise people whom I think as wise, but not all. It's not possible. In my clinic, hospital, it's not possible. I have taken surgery as a profession just because I don't like to write a lot of medicine. I love cutting people. I'm very passionate. So I reduce medication, but wherever it is a possibility, when I find people as intelligent enough to understand me, certainly I infuse IV fluids, I infuse these thoughts about what I'm taking, the way I'm taking right now. I get opportunity. Whenever I find opportunity, I will do it. But not always, it is not possible. People coming from villages, they're bothered, already vexed. They won't listen. They can't understand sometimes. It is a strategic approach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, if you have any further questions. All right. So we have Nilesh who is asking, my sleep has reduced after starting meditation. Is it normal?
Yeah. Not sleep. The word sleep has to be equated to rest. There is so much to talk about everything, but the constraint of time, let me be brief. Rest. The best way of taking rest is make it more frequent. Instead of having a long log-like sleeping, short naps, you will see a huge difference. Our bodies are not Nokia phones charging for entire night. These bodies can also be charged in a minute.
So there is one more question. Hi, I'm a pure vegetarian. I didn't even eat egg or any, like not even, like I haven't eaten egg, but I'm under medication for some health issue. And that medicine contains non-veg substance in it. What shall I do in this case?
If the medicine is important, really essential, you have to take it. But I don't understand what is meant by non-veg substance. I never heard this in my life. What is that?
Shri, can you?
What is my non-veg substance? Medicine is a chemical, basically. Can a chemical be vegetarian or non-vegetarian? I don't know that. Is paracetamol vegetarian, non-vegetarian? I have never heard something like non-vegetarian substance in medicine. If you enlighten me, I will be able to understand.
Maybe I can take a quick stab at it. Maybe it is about things like supplements like B12. Sometimes they say it is
It's
coming
not
from.
non-vegetarian, it's a lab prepared. B12 is a methyl cobalamin, there is a chemical name. They prepare in the labs, not from animals.
Got it. Maybe there are some misconceptions around it.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, there are fish oil and things like that are there, but there are always substitutes, right? There's flaxseed and, all things are there. Yep. So maybe the person who asked the question can probably clarify that a little bit.
See, all the medicines are chemicals basically. But however, there are some medicine which are natural, from natural substances. And these are coming nowadays, but not before. Because people are changing. The medical companies are also changing their mindsets to infuse, to make business, calling them as natural. Earlier it was not there, not much. But nowadays we see so many medicines, pharmaceutical companies branding these natural ingredients. It's all business, frankly. Anyway, B12 can be obtained by vegetarians as well. Rainwater contains a lot of B12.
Yeah.
It's in micrograms. It's a trace element. We need not in milligrams, micrograms. Enough.
Got it. We have another question from Divya Nigam. She's asking, are intense breathworks more effective than normal meditation, at least from healing perspective?
It is possible. It is possible to be meditative 24/7.
Got it. Then we have Jitendra ji, who is asking how to remain meditative 24/7 every moment of life.
I told to practice with 5 times of naman, 5 times of meditation. Start with that. The intervals in between these 2 sessions slowly become meditative. Meditation is not about active doing. Please understand this. Meditation is about state of consciousness. The word meditation is the word given to state of consciousness, not for the act of doing. Cultivating this consciousness, a different consciousness, altered consciousness, a vibrant consciousness, a subtle, composed, converged, collective, internalized consciousness. That is what is called meditative consciousness. It has to be cultivated. How do you develop muscles? There is a way, right? Going to gym, do something, right? Similarly, to build your spiritual muscles, these are the ways.
Yeah. Good. We have Sanvi ji, who has raised her hand. Please, ma'am, ask your question.
Hello. Sorry, I'm Deepa Joshi. Actually, I logged in from Sanvi Joshi because I'm at remote location of Brahmi Durga temple. That is a beautiful place. So thank you so much, everyone. And sir, I have one question. During the meditation, I think I'm practicing that meditation since 6-7 months. Now my food is a little bit reduced. I don't like to eat chapati and all this wheat item. I'm having rice more in afternoon, and day by day it is also reducing. So is it okay? I'm feeling energetic also, no issue with my body. Everything is fine. But as for your opinion, if still it is going reduced, so can I have the fruits and liquid diets throughout my life? That's my question.
See, balanced diet is a requirement. Balanced life is also a requirement. It is a balance that has more value. Balance means what? What is a balance? Everything in optimum level. Everything has to be optimized. The body certainly needs nutrients. Human body is different from animal body. A tiger and all. Tiger doesn't need all fruits. The physiology is different. As per human physiology, we need all types of nutrients. Physiology of plant is different. Physiology of an animal is different. Physiology of this Homo sapiens is different. As per human physiology, we need to take balanced diet. Of course, this is not a rule. Not a rule. But for you, maybe right. But once you become an adept, you can live without optimum food. You can thrive on meditation alone. There is also a possibility if you want to.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Wow, perfect. We have Jitendra ji. Jitendra ji, please ask your question.
To be in a meditative state throughout, would it help to be in a state wherein observer and observed are one throughout, or to be in that flow of consciousness without getting distracted?
Yeah, it is possible.
Got it. So we have another question from Pawan Kumar ji. How meditation has helped you in getting exile in every aspect? How long does it take to see the visible change? How to make meditation a very strong habit?
How meditation has helped you in getting exile means what? In every aspect. How long does it take? So as I told earlier in the opening sentence, I started at a very early age. I have never become adult. My case is not becoming adult and coming back. No, my case is different. Everybody's story, life story is different. My life story is this. I have never become adult. I never understood the elements of jealousy, hatred, nothing, never from my childhood. Because I was always in a proactive, self-cultivated mode. I programmed myself in that way. I'm obsessed with this. I've been obsessed.
Wow. Well, I think this will be the last question for the session from Divya Nigam. Can you share your thoughts on being vegan and living on a plant-based diet?
There is a natural diet. There is not a special diet. There's a natural diet everyone has to follow. Animals cannot be our food. There is no need to kill an animal and convert it into food. Vegetarian food, vegetarian diet or vegan diet is definitely right food. There is natural food for us, like a herbivorous animal. We are herbivorous animals, basically, if we call that way. We're not carnivorous. Unfortunately, the non-vegetarian food is basically a perverted thought. It is a thought perversion. A global scale thought perversion. Because it is global scale, it has been thought as natural. It has been thought as normal, but not so. If COVID continues forever, for 100 years, how it would be? It becomes normal life, no? You have to adjust. You have to carry masks. You have to sneeze and cough in a private place, never in front of people. It becomes common, normal, near normal to you. Similarly, when everything is global, this thought perversion is global. Eating animals as food is a thought perversion. There are many perversions at a global scale. As I told you, jealousy and hatred, perversions. They're not perversions. They're not normal. So vegan diet is a real diet, natural diet, normal diet, essential for every human being. You don't need animals as diet. You don't have to kill them. Not necessary. I'm saying not only as a spiritual guy, but as a doctor as well. Someone asked me, do you tell meditation to all your patients? Yes, I prescribe vegetarian food to all my patients. Definitely. My day begins with endoscopies every day. Once your session is closed, I need to get up and go to hospital. I will do endoscopies. Some people will be waiting for me. I know what is there inside the stomach, how the mucous membranes of the alimentary canal changes with diets. I tell them all these people practice vegetarian food, no meat, no masala. Keep the diet bland. Thank you.
Wow. So, sir, this is officially the last question because we have a lot of people have asked the similar theme. How about dairy products? Can we use it on only plant-based food? This is one question. Another is dairy product considered a non-veg or a normal food? And the third is, should we take dairy? Yeah, sorry.
The categorization of vegetarian, non-vegetarian is a outdated classification because of so many other elements here. The food is basically classified into 5. Vegan, strict vegetarian diet. Lactam. Lactam means vegan plus milk. Oven with egg. Lacto oven with milk and egg. Last is non-vegan with flesh. The spectrum of demarcation runs between first 2 and later 3. That means vegan, lactam on one side, oven, lacto oven, and non-vegan on the other side. That's the line of demarcation. Milk is definitely animal product, no doubt. But however, milk is not requirement. It is a lower level in the spectrum of the perverted thoughts, very much lower level. This is spectrum. So where you are in the spectrum is very important.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. From food to energy to body to mind. I think we covered literally all the aspects needed to live like a yogi. So thank you so much, everyone, for posting such questions which helped us in understanding the deep concepts. And thank you so much, sir, for your time. Thank you so much, everyone, guys. Over to you, Shibu.
Thanks, Naman. And again, I can't thank you enough, sir. It's been such a privilege, such an enlightening session for all of us. Really appreciate your time. I know we could have gone on for more. I know a lot of questions are still coming in, but just have to end the session. Really, really appreciate your time. Again, friends, tomorrow we'll have a session on art of relaxation. Sir talked about it today, right? How it has to be, it's very, very important for us to be relaxed. So we'll build on it. We'll have a session on art of relaxation tomorrow. Request you all to please join in. Please stick with us for entire 21 days. See you all tomorrow. Again, thank you, sir. Thank you all.